gentlemen, I'm about to call up someone who, over the years as well, has proven results in the real estate industry. She has developed her own passion in real estate. No, most of the time, some of us, we come up with robbed-off passion. We are just living off the passion of someone else and surviving, but she has developed her own passion for real estate. She's a mother and a businesswoman, a mother of 2 beautiful kids, and the woman standing by the side of our very own boss, our own very mentor, Jeff Anozie. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we make welcome Esther, Jeff, Anozie. Please put your hands together. Like a wall of Jericho. At what point did you decide to answer the call of real estate or pick up your phone and call real estate? Which one was it? Yeah.
Hello everybody, good evening. Good evening. Okay, glad to have us here. So, at what point did I start real estate? So, I believe one of the major things we are selling to us in Realtors Bootcamp, if you are paying attention, is our personal stories. So mine is very unique and different too. So when I started, it was also the hunger of having money, all right, having personal money, because it's always okay of people outside to say, oh, your husband has money, you don't have to do anything. And as a wife or as a young girl who is eventually going to be a wife tomorrow, it's always good you have your money. I'll talk about that later, but that was how my quest started. And I did one business first because I started pressuring my husband that, no, I want to have my money. So there's one business that came up and he told me, oh, there's this business that he did, that they came back to him, but he can't continue it. I said, let me do it. And I said, no, it's very stressful. I said, I want to do it. All right. After school, I had done my master's, so I was literally a housewife. I was always at home, so I was getting tired and bored of it. So when that business came, I started it off, and eventually became stressful, like he prophesied. And we got in somebody else, and the person later on took on the business. All right. But after then too, I wanted something more. I know who said it, who mentioned when there's a will, there's a way. When you're looking for something, you are intentionally looking out for something. Over time, you find answers. So he also came back home one day and was saying, he needs someone that will start looking into our books. And he just feels that all of them, Jacinta was a street person, he was always a street person. So he needed someone to come and start looking how much we are making as a business, how much we are spending. Let's know if we are running at a loss or making profit. So I said, I can do it. And I said, when can you resume? And I told him, okay, next month. He was talking to me on October 23rd. I told him next month, November 1st. That's what, yes. That's when at least you are starting work, starts November. And I said, no, if I'm not starting, I was talking to him on Friday, if I'm not starting on Monday, then the offer is off the table. I said, oh, no problem. Let me prepare my head and my mind to it. So I now started. So I'm not a realtor yet, if you are following me. I started off as someone taking care of the books, bookkeeping, accounting of Brownie Global. So when I now joined the business, I saw what was happening, I saw how business was going. So one of the motivations, like I said, was Jacinta. Miss Jacinta. All right, so I saw how a young girl was so passionate about, in quotes, someone else's business. And she was running the business passionately and also doing her business. It was quite something that motivated me. I was like, this girl is doing so much, and I was so proud of her. And I said, oh, since she can do it, I think I can do it. What is it that she's doing I cannot do? So that's how I started. Then I'll now come home because I have an advantage, so to say. So whenever I come home, I'll be like, look at what happened today. What do you think? Also, when I say, oh, do this, don't do this, don't do this. So whenever I am in a fix, I always have someone quick to call. The first sale I made, I told him, oh, someone just called me, look at what the person is asking. I said, oh, do this, don't do this, and all that. So it was very easy for me as it were. So, but over time, you know that I can't continue on like that. So I needed more, and I don't have to always run back to him to say, oh, so I needed to grow for myself. So when Realtor School came up, I paid for it. He was now vexing. Why did I pay for it? I said, no, I want to also pay for knowledge because I understand the place of knowledge. You can't just say every time someone calls, you have to call somebody. It doesn't make sense. What if he's not available to pick my calls? So I watched through all the videos and started off. So now I could make video content, and I am, you know how you know something, you are proud, you are talking about it convincingly and all that. So that's how my real estate.
Wow. Did you all follow the story? I really did follow it. Though for some people, real estate calls them. But in your case, I think you picked up the phone call and said, real estate, it is. I've seen my husband do this, let us do this. Okay, now, back to being a mother, being a wife, running the business, and also personally making sales. You know, how do you manage expectations? Now, how do you manage expectations from family? Now, by family, I mean your kids. How do you manage expectations from your kids, expectations from your husband, expectations from your clients, and more so, expectations from yourself? Because I mean, we all want to have time for ourselves, time to reboot, self-care, and all. How do you, or how have you been able to manage these?
Okay, personally, like I would always say, this is my story. So whatever you're hearing me say is my story. So what have helped me greatly is, first thing, when I started, I had to go online to check people who were working with their husbands or working with their spouse as a couple, and of course have children. So I saw 2 of them that I started following up. They already have contents online, and they were also visible online. So I started listening to their story. That's one good thing social media has done for us in this generation. So I went online and started listening to them. So at every point they have issues, they'll come online, talk about it, how they navigated. You know how you are doing business with your spouse and you're also running business. Like Dr. Nina just said, we needed to separate it. If you're not emotionally stable, you can't marry someone effectively, and you have to do something in the business effectively. So I always know the line. At this point, this is my husband. At this point, this is my boss. I always know that clear line. Then,
how do you manage the expectations?
Good. So now that I've understood that part, then the next thing is family. God has blessed us with 2 kids, and based on my understanding of being a wife, I also have a responsibility to those 2 kids. So I also have to be there for them and all that. So I choose the ones that are priority for me. Part-time. All right. Another thing that has helped me is to outsource things. I always focus on things I can do, then outsource the rest. Before now, when I got married, I always do things my own. I clean the house myself. I wash the plates. I wash everything. I do myself. My husbandman also told me that one day you break down and they will now come and catch him. So I should start looking for help. I said, no, I can handle it. I am able and all that. But over the years, I've learned to let go of some things, all right? Get people to do that while I'm focusing on what matters. So now I know what is priority for me, and I focus on them part-time, all right? Being a wife is a full-time job. Being a mother is a full-time job. Then also on understanding that I have to take care of myself. A tanker, a car carrying fuel needs fuel. So most times I need to also get energy for myself, because sometimes if I don't, I get to burn out. And you now see a woman who is cranky, who is bitter, who is nagging and shouting and all that. But if I always make sure that I get energy, which most of the time is early mornings of every day, I get my me time, all right? I get the day straight. I get it organized as it were. So by so doing, I run the day beautifully, because if I don't have the right energy, the kids will suffer, the business will suffer, my husband will suffer too. So I understand all that, and I make sure that all this, I choose the one that is priority for me, focus on them. The rest, if anybody can get paid whilst doing this, let the person get paid and do the rest.
Nice. Please put your hands together, Now, the question is going on in the mind of a young woman right now, maybe married or unmarried. You know, someone would say to you, maybe because you married someone who was in the same part, or who is in the real estate industry with you. So how about the young woman who marries a man that is not in the real estate industry that would not be there to, you can't ask these questions, you can't take back your concerns. Okay, what would you tell, how would such a young woman, whose goals, whose visions don't align, how can such a person be young?
Beautiful question. So as a young lady or anyone listening to me, what I would say is choose your association right. Sometimes we don't know the power we have in us until someone else shows you. Right? Some people are personally motivated, others are externally motivated. So you need someone around you, ginger you, cajole you, all right? So if you're that kind of person, find a motivation. And I think that's what Rowdy Global has done for a lot of people. So some people come to the office, they need clarification. Jacinta is always there, they're always in her inbox. Sometimes I feel like, you have energy, ma? Because people ask the weirdest question and she's always there to answer them. So choose the right association. If you want to do real estate and you don't have the right backing, if you don't have the right people to encourage you, to tell you that you can make it, over time you'll fall out. I've seen people fall out. In this less than 2 years I'm already in the business. You are asking them, how far I've not been seeing you? You'll be like, it's like this thing is not paying again. So you're asking why. So it's possible that you come, receive training, get trained, but you get home, but people castigate you there. People tell you that this thing you are doing does not make sense. People tell you that, how many people in your lineage have done this thing you are doing? So you feel discouraged, and it's just a matter of time you fall out. But if you always continuously surround yourself with people who believe, even if you don't have the belief yet, but you have people who believe, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So it will eventually work for you. All right, that's what I'm advising any young girl, anyone who is already, because today we're talking about starting. All right, you are starting something. You have to, especially in real estate, especially in Nigeria, you have to surround yourself with people who are not threatened by your success. That's another thing I forgot to say. All right, there's some people who are threatened when you start scaling. All right, they feel like you're taking everything they have. It's not true. Mr. Jeff will always say that the world is too much. Like, we've not even tapped. So much people want to invest in Enugu if Enugu is your base. Some people want to, they've not even seen anybody online yet. So let's keep on showing up, all right? If you are discouraged, find a place to get energy, all right? Rather than sulk, rather than cry, rather than look for the easy way out, which is, what else can I do? It's like, this thing is not working. Meanwhile, if still someone is working for, why not change your strategy? Why not look for, okay, what can I start doing today? And I guess that's what Sir Jeff basically talked about today. So that's my advice.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What would you give out as a guiding principle for a mother, a woman who is overwhelmed? She's overwhelmed with maybe family and business and managing all of this. What's one principle that has helped you hold your ground at times when you get overwhelmed? One advice to such a person. Share that principle in just a few minutes that can keep such a person.
Have a routine. Always, don't wake up and you now start thinking, what am I doing today? If you don't have a plan for the day, any other thing can carry you, right? So every new week, I sit down and plan for the week, all right? I know what I want to do and I focus on it. Sometimes, is it easy? Absolutely not. In fact, it is not, I promise you. But I know what I want and I'm headed to getting it, whatever, right? With that in mind, it helps me to always curb the extras. If something is not really, really important, I let go of it and focus on what matters for me at this phase of my life. So have a routine as a realtor. When should you visit sites? Like Jacinta had talked about it. What are you doing every single day? If you want to make it big, especially as a realtor, you have to have a schedule. You have to have a routine. Don't wake up and move. Don't wake up and you are now looking like a scattered human being. So maybe your mother or your father now calls you and be like, oh, there's this place you need to go for. Because you don't have a plan, you will move. Right? But if you have a plan and a schedule, someone else, you can be like, can somebody else go? I am busy right now. So if you have that kind of lifestyle, I think you are headed for the right direction.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please put your hands together for them. Let's go. Both of you, people have a secret meeting before coming out. This one is saying, have a plan. Not saying have routine. People planned this routine. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for them. This is Esther Jeff Anozie, an award of recognition for sharing your knowledge as a panelist with us at the Realtors Bootcamp 2.0. And now please join. Thank you so much. Please, you may be seated now. We have, I told you.